The airport was buzzing with the usual chaos of departures and arrivals, families reuniting, lovers saying goodbye, businessmen rushing through gates. Among them stood Ethan Walker, the young billionaire CEO of Walker Industries, known for his stoic demeanor and ruthless precision. He had just returned from a global summit in London, his mind filled with numbers, contracts, and mergers. But in the middle of that noise, his world came to a sudden, heart-stopping pause. His eyes caught sight of a woman across the terminal, frail, tired, holding a small child in one arm and dragging a worn-out suitcase with the other. There was something about her face, her eyes, her hesitant movements that struck a place deep in his memory, and then it hit him like a storm. It was her, Lily. The woman who had once been his entire world, his first love, the girl who had vanished from his life without a word 8 years ago. For a moment, Ethan couldn't breathe. Time slowed, and the noise around him faded into silence. The confident CEO who negotiated billion-dollar deals couldn't take a single step forward. His fingers trembled slightly as if his body itself was questioning if this was real. Her once silky hair was now tied loosely, her once bright smile replaced by exhaustion. But those eyes, those gentle brown eyes, were unmistakable. He had searched for them in every crowd, every city, every dream, and now they were standing just 30 feet away. If you believe in second chances, in love that never truly dies, then take a moment to like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to our channel. Because sometimes, stories like this remind us that life has a strange way of bringing back what's meant for us. Ethan's driver called out his name, but he didn't respond. Instead, he began walking toward her, each step heavy with memories. He saw her struggling to calm her little boy, who was crying softly, asking for food. She was rummaging through her bag, perhaps for a snack or a few coins. The sight pierced him deeper than any wound he'd ever felt. She looked like she hadn't eaten properly in days, her clothes simple, her shoes worn. When she finally noticed him approaching, her expression froze. Shock, disbelief, fear, and something else. Guilt. Years ago, they had been inseparable. He was the ambitious young man from a struggling family, and she was the girl who believed in him even before he believed in himself. They used to dream together, of a small home, a happy life, and a love that would outlast everything. But fate had played its cruelest card on the night he had planned to propose to her. She disappeared without a trace. No calls, no messages, no note. For months, Ethan had searched for her everywhere, until grief hardened into silence and ambition replaced heartbreak. Now she stood before him, holding a child that looked no older than 6. The resemblance was undeniable. The same dimples, the same soft eyes. Ethan's chest tightened. Could it be? He wanted to ask, but he didn't. Not yet. She avoided his gaze, murmuring to the child, then turned toward the exit as if she couldn't bear to face him. Ethan followed her silently through the crowd, his heart pounding, torn between confusion and hope. When she reached the taxi line, the driver quoted her a fare. She hesitated, looked at her wallet, and shook her head. She turned away, clearly unsure of what to do next. In that moment, Ethan stepped forward, placing his black credit card on the counter. "She's with me," he told the driver. His voice was calm, but inside, everything was chaos. Lily looked up, eyes wide with shock. For a second, she wanted to refuse, but the little boy tugged at her sleeve, whispering that he was hungry. She swallowed hard, nodded slightly, and got into the car. Ethan sat beside her in silence. The ride to the city felt endless. She looked out the window, avoiding his gaze, while her son slowly fell asleep on her lap. Ethan studied her. Reflection in the glass. How fragile she seemed. How the fire in her eyes had dimmed, but not disappeared. Finally, when they reached downtown, she asked to stop near a small, run-down apartment block. She thanked him quietly, trying to get out quickly, but Ethan couldn't let her vanish again. "Lily," he said softly, and she froze. The sound of his voice saying her name after 8 long years broke something inside her. Tears welled up, but she didn't turn around. "You don't owe me anything, Ethan," she whispered. "Please, just forget you saw me." And then she disappeared through the building's creaking door. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. Every image of her, every memory, every smile haunted him. He couldn't understand why she had left, what had happened to her, or why she looked so broken now. The next morning, he sent his assistant to discreetly check the address. What he learned shattered him. Lily worked 2 jobs, cleaning at a diner during the day and in a small store at night. She had no family, no support. The boy's name was Noah. His school records listed no father. Ethan's heart clenched tighter with every detail. Days passed and Ethan couldn't focus on work. Board meetings blurred into silence. Reports lost meaning. He found himself driving past her street late at night just to make sure she was safe. One evening, it started to rain heavily, and as he waited in his car, he saw her leaving the store, clutching a thin jacket around her shoulders, walking through the storm. He couldn't take it anymore. He got out of the car and called her name. She stopped, stunned to see him again, standing there drenched in rain. "Why are you doing this?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Because you deserve better," he replied quietly, "and because I never stopped caring." That night, she finally told him the truth. 8 years ago, her father had fallen critically ill. Her family couldn't afford treatment, and when she asked Ethan for help, he was out of the country, struggling to build his startup. In her desperation, she took a job offer abroad that turned out to be a cruel deception. She was left stranded, broke, and pregnant. By the time she managed to return, Ethan had become untouchable, a powerful CEO surrounded by walls of success. She couldn't bring herself to ruin his perfect world with her broken life. She had chosen silence, thinking it was the kindest thing she could do. Ethan listened, speechless. Every word tore him apart. He realized how success had blinded him to the one person who had once been his light. Without thinking, he pulled her close, and for the first time in years, she let herself cry in his arms. The rain poured harder, but they didn't move. It was as if time itself had waited for this moment, for broken hearts to remember how to beat again. In the weeks that followed, Ethan became a constant presence in their lives. He made sure Lily had everything she needed without making her feel dependent. He offered to help with Noah's school fees, to fix her apartment, to make her smile again. Slowly, the walls she had built began to crumble. Noah grew attached to him, calling him Mr. Ethan and showing him drawings he made at school. Every time Ethan looked at that boy, he saw himself, and the life he could have had if fate hadn't torn them apart. Then came the day when he couldn't hold it in any longer. He took Lily and Noah to a park, the same one where he and Lily had once dreamed of their future. As the golden light of evening surrounded them, he knelt down in front of Noah and asked softly, "Would it be okay if I tried to be part of your life?" The boy smiled shyly and nodded. Then Ethan stood, turned to Lily, and took her trembling hands. "I lost you once because I was too focused on building a life. But now I realize that life means nothing without the people who make it worth living. I don't care about the past. All I want is a chance to love you both." Lily couldn't speak. Her heart felt like it was breaking and healing at the same time. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she whispered, "You already are a part of our life, Ethan." In that moment, everything that had been lost, the years, the pain, the distance melted away. What remained was something pure, something that had survived despite everything: love. Months later, the world saw a different side of Ethan Walker. The ruthless CEO had turned into a man of compassion, launching a foundation to support single mothers and struggling families. He never told anyone that it was inspired by Lily, but every time he saw her smile, every time Noah called him dad, he silently thanked destiny for giving him one last chance to make things right. And as they walked through the airport again 1 year later, this time hand in hand, ready to start a new chapter, Ethan realized something beautiful. Sometimes, love doesn't return when you expect it to. It returns when you finally become the person worthy of it. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more stories of kindness, love, and second chances to life. Before you go, tell us in the comments, do you believe that true love always finds its way back, no matter how much time passes? Because sometimes it really does.